A 37-year-old light-gauge steel-framed house. With the situation in the Middle East making materials hard to get, we finally managed to start painting the exterior walls and roof. On the very first day, something unexpected happened right away. This house relies heavily on sealant in its exterior wall details. Once that sealant fails, rainwater slowly works its way inside. This was apparently the first major maintenance work on this house. Considering its age, it had actually held up very well. Without getting in the painter's way, I'll take care of a few small repairs too. In the previous video, before the scaffolding went up, we worked on the utility door. We closed off an inconvenient utility door and turned it into a wall. This time, I'll repair the exterior areas that can only be reached with scaffolding. After the pressure washing, masking and sealant replacement begin. This siding has a huge amount of sealant, almost twice as much as a typical house. On top of that, all the sealant around the windows will be replaced. I had been waiting for this moment. When the old sealant comes off, there are spots where the sealant failed, water got in, and the siding has lifted. If only the siding has lifted, I can screw it back into the steel framing. But where the plywood inside has warped too, pushing from the outside will not fix it. To repair everything properly, we would have to remove a large section of siding. This time, I'll limit the repair to the worst areas. As a carpenter, I'll improve the parts that painting alone would not fully protect. Everything was going according to plan. I thought I could leave the rest to the painters. Then another problem appeared. The rake board is coming loose. This detail relies on sealant for waterproofing.
ここも落ちるわね。軒天ごと落ちるんじゃん。ほら。
落ちちゃう。
軒天外れてるわ。
Both the rake board and the soffit are very unstable.
見切りから外れてるやんね。
In this condition, it cannot be painted. First, I'll check what is inside. Honestly, I would rather not look. But I can't just ignore it.
外れそうだ。
Well, once I look, there is no going back. A nicely aged rake board has appeared. For someone like me, this is great. The painting work has already started, so there is no time to think slowly.
直しようないな。
Now then, what should I do?
これ向こうもなってる可能性あるね。
If this section is in this condition, the other 3 rake boards may be the same. I wish I had noticed this before the painting work started.
これじゃなくてこっちなんだ。
そっちやね。
大事だもんな。
The direct cause is this detail that relies on sealant. And the final blow was poor installation. Sonim, there are marks where iron nails were driven in at an angle.
しかも普通の釘だね。あれ、たるき腐っとるやろ。
Water had worked its way in, and even the rafters were crumbling.
芯が残ってる。上はもうふわふわ。
At that time, prefab housemakers were changing how homes were built.
あ、上も腐っとるわ。
It was different from conventional homes built by carpenters. It was also a period when ideas about weatherproofing changed a lot. Waterproofing relied on exterior plastics, adhesives, sealant, and airtight construction. As long as everything works properly, it is very rational. But once one hole lets rain in, that water has nowhere to escape.
全部これも。
One cause was the flashing under the roof material.
これに穴開けとんのが嫌なんだよね。
There was no proper backing where the rake edge metal cover should be fastened. So nails were forced in at an angle to hold it down. Those nails had pierced through the hidden drainage flashing at the rake edge. The rake edge metal cover is the outer umbrella. The hidden drainage flashing is the tray beneath it. In other words, they had made holes in the tray that catches rainwater. When the top sealant fails, this detail gets weak fast.
これ直せそうですか？
治る。
なんとか。
うん、余裕。
If it's only this section, one day should be enough, or so I thought.
ここの鉄骨に留めようか。
When I remove the hidden rake edge backing board, the soffit comes off with it. The wood backing is rotten, so I fasten it directly into the steel frame. It is a tight space, so I use a corner impact driver and screws for steel. To avoid breaking the soffit board, I cut the nails instead of pulling them. Renovation takes time because you have to remove things without damaging what will stay. Down below, the painters are about to replace the sealant. While up here, I'm about to take apart the roof edge. Demolition right after the painters finish masking. It feels a little wrong. Every bit of sawdust I drop falls onto someone below.
全部やってもしゃあないでさ、ここから結構。
All of this work was decided on the same day. I take it apart carefully and decide the next steps as I go. The next morning, the backing piece I'll add along the rake edge needs to be 4.2 meters long. Standard lumber is not long enough, so I rip down hinoki framing stock. The painting work is already moving forward, so I cannot cover the site with more sawdust. I also cut the roof pitch in advance, so on site I only need to install it. This reduces the time spent thinking on site, and also reduces the time making a mess on site. When I arrived, they were already replacing the sealant. At that time, the situation in the Middle East had caused a nationwide shortage of sealant. People were calling it the naphtha shock. For this job, we needed a type that follows movement and does not stain the paint. But even after checking hardware stores, it was hard to find. To keep the job from stopping, everyone helped gather materials. With the painters working directly below, I repair the rake board. Now, I use a circular saw. Sorry to the painters below. The old backing was made from 30mm and 12mm boards. This time, I use 120 by 45mm hinoki. I add plywood to the lower edge to adjust the height against the soffit. I installed a hidden backing board for the rake edge. With backing this thick rebuilt, it will not rot easily even if some water gets in. The goal is not only to stop the rain, but to make backing that can survive some moisture. I fastened the new rake edge backing board and put the soffit back in place. I seal the holes in the hidden drainage, flashing under the roof.
これはね
Unsealed holes would let water in all over again.
表からもやるけど裏からもやる。ほらこれもう角にね。
There is roofing underlayment below the flashing, but it does not turn up high enough.
ね。
確かに。
Ideally, I would lift the roof material and slide in new hidden flashing. But the existing underlayment may be stuck by heat, and moving it could tear it.
ここから雨が入ってくるでしょこれ。分かる破れてるの見て。
本当だ。
ね、ここ重要やもんで、これをまあちょっと気休めにしかならないけど、
うん。
入れておけばさ、ちょっといいやろ。ちょっとだけな。
It is not a perfect substitute, but I turn up butyl tape as auxiliary waterproofing. This repair is definitely not perfect. Ideally, the roof should be overlaid using a cover method, or all rake boards should be removed, the backing replaced, and wrapped in galvalume steel. But because of the cost, schedule, and material situation, I decided to work with the existing condition and do the best I could in the limited time.
位置合わせてから滑るやってね。ブチルテープついとるや。だいたい上まで上げてから。はい、奥にベタっと押し上げて。
Finally, I tie the visible rake board to the new backing board with one 4.2 meter piece. I want this piece to support the old rake board that was not fully replaced. The rotted, crumbling rake board has become a solid, thick rake board. Until the final sealant is applied, I temporarily tape it to keep rain out. At last, I put the outer decorative rake board back in its original position. In renovation, judgment is everything. More than fixing it, deciding how far to go is the hard part. That is how I see it. In this case, I could have forced it back with adhesive and covered everything with paint. Once it is painted, no one can see what was going on inside. This really shows how important repairs are before painting begins. And there are still 3 more rake boards. The sealant at the top had failed here too, and rain had already gotten in. Fortunately, there were no nails piercing the hidden flashing. Because of that, the rot does not seem to have gone too far. However, because there are no nails, the hold-down metal cover is lifting. In this lifted condition, I cannot repair the sealant at the top. I need to temporarily hold down the metal cover, but nails would create the same problem again. So I need to find a different way to fasten it. To fasten it without making nail holes, I apply sealant to part of the roof material. Then I make a small wooden wedge and use it to press the cover down while it bonds.
で、取った時にビヨンと戻って。
そう、もう諦める。
The painting work is moving along steadily too. The plain siding panel that closed off the utility door now has texture on it. I'm looking forward to seeing this finished. This repair seems to have worked well too. Now the sealant at the top can be repaired cleanly. After the carpentry work was done, I had Yochan check the site every day. Yochan's role is to look over the site, listen to the tradespeople, and report back to me. And also to capture that work on camera. Watching the painters work, Yochan is honestly impressed. And sometimes he comes back cheered up by the client's little site supervisor. Just like one day in my work. Each day in a painter's work has its own story. But most of that work is never seen by anyone. Even so, they quietly keep moving forward with the work in front of them. The final day of construction. This time, all the siding joints and window perimeters
なるべく除いて、どうしてももうこんな配管通っとるとこの奥までっていうと難しいのは難しいんですけど、パイプの裏とかは吹き付けでは飛んでくれへんもんで、最後もう手で見るしかないっていう。なるほど。下から覗いてもらうと入ってないなっていう。
were resealed. Looking closely, I can see mist spots.
もうほとんどできとるように見えちゃうけどさ。
At a glance, it may look finished, but it is not done yet. At the end, the lines around the frames will be cleaned up one more time. They mask it again and repaint the jagged areas cleanly.
違うね、見た目が違いますね。
いい感じ。
It looks like the first top coat on the roof is finished. During the naphtha shock, the sealant that was hard to get finally arrived. And here, I somehow managed to do it. I messed up properly.
せっかく買ったんですけどね。これ、色間違えましたね。
I accidentally ordered the wrong color of very expensive modified silicone sealant. The color is blue, and so is my mood. This is the area where rain had been getting in due to age-related deterioration. Here, I do not hold back. I apply plenty of sealant. By coincidence, the color is actually a pretty good match. The metal flashing had rusted quite badly, but this should be safe for now. Before removing the scaffolding, I came to check the roof finish. This view will be gone after today. The rake board detail is not perfectly ideal. It should probably be inspected every few years. All the work is finished. Major exterior maintenance may be needed at least once every 20 years. If you notice problems early, most repairs can stay simple. Painting is not just about changing the color. It is also an important checkup that reveals small signs of trouble in the house. After the work was finished, the homeowner's family gave us some thoughtful gifts. I also received an assortment of Japanese beer and a selection of seafood snacks. Grateful for their kindness, I savored one beer a day. They were all gone in a week. For a while after the job was done, I felt warm, both inside and out. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel.